Hello there, MMXW. How are you? Blessings to you too. We're waiting for everyone to come on. We are going to be talking about the narcissist frequency, breaking it, interrupting it. Hello there. How are you? Thank you for joining us. Oh, thank you so much. I'm trying to do more, MMXW, to get more content out. People are requesting it and they're desperate for it. Thank you for every week you come on. You're so faithful. I appreciate you. How have you been? Hey, Ernestine, how are you? Thank you for joining me on today. I am excited about you being here. I really appreciate you. The others are coming. Hey, Danielle, how are you? Thank you, thank you, thank you. We're talking about breaking the narcissist frequency, what it takes. Danielle, this is probably going to be very fresh to you since you just had to do that recently. She said, my narcissist father birthday was yesterday and he didn't respond to my birthday wishes to him. He's 71. Well, he didn't want to give you the pleasure of acknowledging that you acknowledged him. So not acknowledging that you acknowledge him is hurtful. And that probably gave him pleasure because he's trying to get thought-through thinking that you will be hurt by him not responding. When a narcissist does not get their actual fuel, they get thought fuel. So, which is really crazy, but it happens. All righty. Waiting for a few more people to come on in here. She said, I'm not hurt. Radical acceptance. I know. But he's thinking you are because they live on hurt. And he can't devaluate you personally because you're not there. So he tried to devaluate you in his mind, supposing that you're somewhere hurt, that he didn't respond. And usually they want to find out because you're text and said, well, why didn't you respond and why didn't you? And when you don't do that, that can be quite surprising to them. But you know how the game works. So it is amazing the limit that people will go to get what they think they want. All right, y'all, let's start here. We're going to talk about breaking the narcissist frequency. And if you just was here, you saw how XW talked about she wished her father a happy birthday. He's 71 and he didn't even respond. Danielle said, in light of recent event, it feels like I'm breaking narc frequency both voluntarily and involuntarily. Yeah, I can see that. But when you say involuntarily, why did you say involuntarily? Explain. Because you have to make some choices, and the choices you make, they are not easy. You have to make some serious choices that are quite difficult. And making those choices that are not easy can be very hard. All right? Okay, let's see what she said. She's still writing. In order to be free, you have to break the hold. You have to, and it's a stronghold because narcissists, especially when we talk about supplies, just not any supply, that primary supply, she's, I say involuntarily because I'm forced to deal, yep, with the coping mechanism. She said, I develop a feel emotionally safe. I feel emotionally safe. Absolutely. She says it's very hard to walk away from your parents and 99% of your family. Okay, you and Danielle understand this. She's dealing with it right now, and she's having to make some very lucrative decisions concerning her life. Her life. Because what was at stake was her life. She almost lost her life. Isn't that something? When you almost lose your life and you choose to live, you have to be conscientious of the decisions you make. And some of them are very painful. Some of them will try to guilt trip you because when you're dealing with family issues, there's this unconscious obligation that you think you should have to your family, whether you're happy or whether you're miserable, especially if it's a parent. But MMXW is also dealing with that. She had to cut them off. She had to make a decision to live and to live life happily and to live life efficiently and effectively means that she had to make some conscientious decisions. And some of them were very difficult. And they still may be difficult because once you make a decision, you have to maintain course. You can't elapse from the decision. You can't emotionally decide to go with the decision. And you can't guilt yourself with the decision you make to live. You just have to live. Danielle say, my freedom now sometimes feel like isolation. Whoa, that's something. My freedom now feels like isolation. It's not isolation. It's a choice to live. It's a choice to live. Because once you diminish the choice, you're going to go back into bondage. Everything you've been through going to go start all over again. She said, I do feel peace and feel guilty about it. You shouldn't. Especially when you done had a heart attack. If there's any language that is more clearly and speaks more loudly, it's that when your life was weighed between the balance and you escaped by God's miracle, by the hand of God. And you know the only reason you were here is because of him. Other than that, you would have been out of here. With the kind of blockage you had in your heart and you're a young woman, that you shouldn't feel guilty because the moment you do and you yield to it, you're going to die. Why? Because you may die. You can't have another heart attack with 100% blockage of the heart. No, I don't think that I would let guilt talk to me. I would not let guilt sit in my seat. I would not let guilt lay down beside me. I would not let it be my language of interpretation at all. It's called wisdom. It's called living with desire and desiring to live. That's what it's called. Because when you look out for you and you live, because you done made a very difficult decision, then you make that difficult decision and live. Danielle she said, I completely understand. My mother recently paid my uncle to insult me after I paid for half of his dental bill. She said, I didn't react, just stepped away. Wow. God is my mother and my father. That is very encouraging. And that is very true. God steps in the place of harm and he gives you safety. God steps in the place of turmoil and he gives you peace. God steps in the place of cells and prisons and he gives you deliverance. It feels like isolation because somehow you want to share the joy with your family, but when you think about it, when was there a time that you could do that? When was there a time that you could do that? That you could share your joy, that you could share your peace, that you could share your happiness. When? Because if you think about the price that you paid, which was almost your life, you would think, I must be out of my freaking mind to think that I could go back there and exist there and live there. That book, The Body Keeps Score. Your mind may disillude you. Your emotions may mishandle you to tell you you're crazy, that you need to be back in it, that something is wrong with you. She said, I want to get a handle on it now. Yeah, the doctors say I'm not expected to live another year, but God. Oh my God. With long life will I satisfy you. You have a long life before you. That's why you have to get a grip on it. That's why you can't let a person kill you with their disorder that they're not going to change. And you start going through this, you would lose everything you have. There is no way. You're free, you're starting over, you're spreading your wings. You're spreading your wing in some high voltage wind, high volume wind. Azariah. And so when you are flying, eagles fly into the storm. Other birds fly away from the storm because they don't have the capacity or the propensity to fly with that much opposition. But eagles can. Eagles can fly with that much opposition. They can. And the fact that you survived, Danielle, the fact that you made it through, is a real testament. She said, I trust in God and I will live. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because Danielle, if you wanted to die, you could have. If you wanted to die, you would have just go ahead and did it. You didn't want to. There was too much to live for. There was too much to live for. And you got people that care about you, that love you, that honor you. You got all the reasons to live, not die. Life is huge. Life is big. Life is beautiful. It can be testing, but the beauty of life. You have that beauty. And you can live. And you will. You will. Hello there, Yvette. How are you? You will live. Never feel guilty for breathing. It's necessary to live. Because sometimes we feel guilty for breathing. They make you feel obligated that everything belongs to them. Everything is about them, not your destiny. Your destiny may not include them. Can you handle that? You honor and be there when you can, and then you move on. But you can't be around them. MMXW says she had to get away from them. MMXW, how long has it been since you've been separated from them? Okay, good, Danielle. I'm glad. I'm glad. Because you have to free your mind. Because if you don't, since 2018, Danielle, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 6 years, 25, 7 years. And that is not easy. It's not easy. But when you make up in your mind to live, you have to count out the cost. Which is best, to die there or live here? Choose to live here, because you can't die there. because they bring you into the core of their world. And their world is suffocating because it's all about them. It's only one-way streets and it leads to them. And when the one-way street doesn't go to them, they don't go at all. She said it's constant emotional, mental, and verbal abuse. I couldn't deal anymore. Absolutely. Because you done made up in your mind to live. To get away from family or a husband, it is not easy. And some people were married for like 50 years and they still had to walk because nothing changed. Everything was the same. And when you got a person who they know is not going to change, why would you get into an unchanged world? A world that stays the same. It is patterned for them. It is built for them. It is made for them. It is shaped for them. It's their size. It's their fit. And everybody else that comes in the world try to fit in the same shoe that's made for them only, and it fits them only. It's very painful for any other foot. 2 feet can't go in one shoe that is made specifically for the person of that shoe. And you're not going to change them. They don't want to change. They're not changing. She said, I chose to live here. I went from never being on medication to now having to take 8 different medications on a daily basis. She said, I'm believing God to get off of them. We are too, Danielle. She said, I blame myself for dealing with it so long. You don't blame yourself. No, you don't blame yourself. You tried to work it out. You tried to make it happen. You tried to fit. You tried to, that's a parent. We're not talking about a boyfriend. We're talking about a parent that raised you, a parent that you love, a parent that you care about. And so it's not easy, but you have to still make the decision. Hello, Elijah. You still have to make the decision. It's not easy. And it's not going to be easy sustaining the decision. Everybody else with their mother, loving on their mother, Mother's Day, different date. No, you don't have that life. That's not your life. That's their life. And so when you having to make a strong, willful decision to live, then that's exactly what you have to do. Because once you start living, you start dying. That's it. Understood. You know, when you're breaking the narcissist frequency, oftentimes a frequency is unseen. She said, I find that some people would try to blame me for how my parents are. And I try to stay from those. She said, and I would try to stay from people like that. There's always a blame game because people don't understand narcissist parents. They understand parenting, but they don't understand narcissist parent. They will not understand what you're going through because they believe that you should tolerate your parents at any cost. And some people don't even have narcissist parents, and they put their parents in a nursing home where you try to take care of your parents. When you're breaking the frequency, you're breaking a soul tie. And when you're breaking a soul tie, you're going into accountability. And what you are saying is, I will no longer, through responsibility, allow you to torment and take over my life like that. So I'm going to discard all frequency releases to you. And that means that I'm going to disconnect everything from you to me. Because everything from you to me is for my negativity, and it hurts. It doesn't build me, it stops me. Hello there, Prophetess Camilla. It doesn't build me, it stops me. And I'm going to stop letting things stop me. She said, torment is the word. Yep. Yep. And that's what you're battling, your mind. You're battling your soul, your mind, your will, your emotion, your desire, your judgment center. You're battling that. Hello, Naomi. How are you? And when you, even if you're married to a narcissist and you're breaking that stronghold, you're breaking that barrier, it's work because you do have history. History make memories. So you're fighting against memory. And when you're fighting against memory, memory is not broken. So that's what it does. It causes you to remember good, bad, or the ugly. You have to decide what you pull from that memory, what you take from that memory. You have to decide that. You have to make decisions toward that. And once you make a decision, you hold to that decision. Once you make a decision, you do not change from that decision. Once you make a decision, when you go no contact, you have to go no contact. Because sometimes parents or family will make you feel like you're the only one. You're not the only one taking care of them. Tanisha said, this is good. Thank you, Tanisha. You have to make up in your mind that I'm not going to collect things to burden me down, wear me out, disgrace me, disarm me, and does not validate me. Lies. I'm not going to be gaslighted by others to disbelieve my own identification, disbelieve what God has made me. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to give myself everything I need to succeed, to build, to know God, and to undergird that with confidence. And sometime to do that, you got to disarm. You got to go away from them. You got to just release them, discard them. Some people you can't stay with and grow. She said, okay, she's saying, welcome family, subscribe. Please support this channel and subscribe to this channel, comment and share. Absolutely. Absolutely. If this channel has blessed you, make sure you share. And then put your comments at the bottom. Let others hear that they can come out. Let others hear that they can be free. When others feel like something must be wrong with me, something could be very right with you. She said, block them, unfriend them, etc. Absolutely. When you are fighting for your life, and if you've been in a relationship with a narcissist, married to him, live with him, family, friends, you know there come a point where in order for you to channel your true survival, I'm not even talking about victory yet, survival, you gotta discard them. Once you discard them, you start building yourself up with positive narratives. You start being around positive friends and get you a support group. And you may have to talk to yourself every day, write in your journal to yourself every day. Tell yourself how strong you are. Even if you don't see it and got troubles believing, you tell yourself what you need to hear. You tell yourself what you want to hear. Don't tell yourself what you see and hear, because what you see is subject to change and what you hear is subject to change. People that are narcissists is not going to praise you, not going to build you. You know that. And you got this little inkling like, what is wrong? That's what's wrong. And you know something is wrong. Don't feel bad about living. I'm trying to keep it as simple as I can. How do I interrupt the frequency? By living, by giving yourself absolute truth, by allowing yourself to live, to be, to become. You said, but I don't want to leave. Nobody usually does. And there's some people who reach this point, they don't have enough and they ready to leave. But a lot of times we try to help them and do what we can, especially family. She said, I had to write on my bathroom mirror, I'm enough. See, that's good. She said, I wrote it on my wrist, read it several times a day. She wrote it on her wrist and she read it several times a day. You have to. As a matter of fact, I had just told someone that, I think on Sunday, I am enough. because sometimes it doesn't feel like it. She said, I have a lot of success now that I would never feel comfortable sharing with my family anymore. And I'm okay with that. You know why? Because usually what do? When you get success, you usually can share with your family. But that's not the instance for everybody. She said, if you stay to help them, you will only hurt yourself. That's right, Crystal. Because the helping of them is the hurting of you. When you are stripped of everything. And then you wonder, how can you be happy when someone is hurting? Because you have compassion and they like that. You have empathy and they like that. They have the cognizant knowing of how things should feel. That's their emotions. You have the reality of how things does feel. And you empathize with people. They don't have that. They don't know that. They avoid that. And when you get that, that's at your cost and not at their cost. They hate for things to cost them. They love for things to cost you. And they will break covenant. They don't care about covenant. You care about marriage, what it means. They care about marriage and what is in it for them. When they marry, it's not for a covenant. It's for ease. It's for benefit. It's for their productivity. Danielle said, it's a shame that loving them always lead to the detriment in some form or fashion. Because of nature. It's their nature. That's right, Danielle. It's their nature. The reason loving them is going to lead to devastation because when you deal with darkness, how can you get light out of it? You're not. Darkness is darkness and light is light. And when the light comes, the darkness leave because the light overpowers the darkness. And they don't want to leave the dark, so you're not. Cannot. And it doesn't matter how much you give them, you always have to give them. They're never done and they're never complete. Audacious Adventure said, can't find the words to make them understand. It's like they don't care if you fall apart right in front of them. Why can't they understand? Because they don't want to. They're broken. When a person is broken emotionally, how can you expect for emotional completeness? They are broken. The very vow that you're looking to work in them is broken. It ain't that they don't understand, they can't. It's not registering with them. That's not part of their character. That's not part of their makeup. That's part of your character. You have mercy. You have empathy. You have compassion. They think compassion is weakness. They think everything should center around them. There are traits. Look at the 9 traits of a narcissist, and 5 of them has to be verified in order to diagnose them. According to the medical journal, to diagnose them as a narcissist, they have to exemplify on a continual basis at least 5. You see, I know people that are not narcissists, they act like this, but they have compassion. They can change. They can make a decision to love, to care. She said they also go out of their way to break you down. They're dangerous, yep, while expecting total loyalty and servitude. That's good because they do. They expect for you to bend when they say bend. They expect for you to jump when they say jump, how high. They expect for you to run when they say run. And they want to do anything they want to do. And you not say anything. They can go out and stay for 3 and 4 days. How dare you come to me? You're the reason I left in the first place. I tried everything to build this relationship. And you're thinking, what did you do? You didn't do anything, but you can't tell the narcissist that. Because the narcissist think if there's any good in this relationship, it's because I'm bringing it to the table, not that you brought it to the table. I am the table. That's what the narcissists think. And a lot of times we spend so much with causes and dissonance that we excuse everything and we act as if things are what they're not until the narcissist feel the liberty to abuse you at any time because you will excuse it, you won't condemn it, you won't hold them responsible, and you feel that you are inadequate to do anything about it. Well, that's their meal ticket. That's their ticket to stay there and to keep torturing. That's their ticket to keep fighting. You gotta get a strategy for your life, for the life of your children. Your children matter, and they must be as important as breathing. MMXW said, "The right they, that's right. They want us to dismiss the truth. They can't handle the truth, and they angry when you bring the truth." And you said, "But this did happen." They will gaslight you to the end and tell you this did not happen. This did not consist. You know, there's something when you driven to the edge with the narcissist. And the narcissist see you on the edge. And you know what they tell you? Jump. They don't want you to flinch. They want you to jump. They want to end it because narcissists like life trophies. And when your life is a trophy, and the more torment they give you, the more it lets them know how powerful they are. So what does the narcissist tell you to do? You can't handle it. You need to get rid of yourself. Because trophy narcissists like for you to end your life. And that's why they drive you to the edge. There's no such thing that you can hang in there and have peace with a narcissist. That's not going to happen. The narcissist is going to make sure that doesn't happen. And that's why he breaks you down. Every chance he gets, every instance he gets, he breaks you down. Hyper Vengeless collapse. Hyper Vengeless collapse. That is very serious. That's when a person is drove to the edge. Now their body is going to keep that score. Their body is going to let them know that if you don't get out of this, it's going to be devastating. And when it is devastating, there's going to be no one here for you. And a lot of times, the narcissist will tell you what they're going to do to you. Listen to this. The hypervigilance collapse refers to a phenomenon where the individual who has been in constant state of heightened and alertness, often due to stress or trauma, experience sudden dramatic decrease in energy, motivation after a period of intense focus in. Have you ever felt that? You're always in a cortisol zone. You're always in alert. Your adrenaline is always working until you are so drained, it's hard to move. Some people disassociate in order to deal with it. They dream of things the way they want it to be and not dealing with things in their actuality. They live in a dream world. They disassociate. And when they live in that dream world, nobody can take them out of that dream world. Then they open their eyes and realize they're in the same thing. It's the same situation. It's the same circumstances. It's the same people. It's the same thing. And what do? They want to go back to the dream world. You can deal with life sleeping and dreaming, and you dream the way you want it. But when you get up, it's in your reality. You have to learn how to deal in your reality. You have to learn how to interrupt what is happening and to catapult your mind into strong forces that are going to help you. Audacious said, I'm overly sentimental, imagining the parent that I wished I had. See, all y'all got parents today, man. There were good times when I was little. She says, like grieving a person who was never real. She said, yes, that's it. That's Danielle. The collapse is real. Absolutely. Krista said, oh my God, it's exactly what I've been experiencing. She said, my energy level has been lower after the most recent narc attack on my spirit. That's exactly what happened. She said, feeling like emotional smoke detector, always on alert. Yes, ma'am. Hypervigilance, collapse, and PTSD. You've never been in a war, but you got all the symptoms as if you've been on the battleground. And like Crystal said, it takes a lot of energy to regroup from an energyless life. It takes a lot to reach your mind when your mind is saying, I'm playing out. It takes a lot. It takes a lot, y'all. But it's possible to bounce back. It's not easy to bounce back. We didn't say that. We said it was possible to bounce back. Listen to this. There are some common behaviors of hypervigilance collapse, a lack of objectivity, read too much into situations, or over awareness of what people see or think about us, perpetual scanning of your environment to find threats. This can cause darting eyes. Wow. Listen to this. Looking for others to betray constantly, not being aware of what is obvious to others, appearing jumpy, jittery, and unable to sit still, a reluctance to new things or meeting new people because you just don't want to deal with it. You don't have the energy or the time. You're like, appearing a reluctance to try new things or meet new people, unable to have conversation sometimes because you are distracted or unable to focus, or you elongate things. You say things and you just say it, or your conversation is so over stimulated with what you've been through. She said, unable to have conversations sometimes because you are distracted, unable to focus, a creation of obsessive patterns or excessive avoidance of perceived threats, these are extreme cases. Constant concern about others. Wow. The mind tell us partial truth and it latches to lies in the other way. It excuses to make you feel guilty or obligated to the trauma-tolerant individual. Adrenaline-induced psychological symptoms, dilated pupils, increased heart rate, elevated blood pressure, overly scrutiny, analyzing behaviors or situation, feeling guilty that it's all your fault and there's something else you should do. She said, my speech is not as clear as it once was. Wow. She said, loving kindness meditation helped me a lot walking, working, eating fresh food, positive affirmation, prayer, deep breathing, music that makes you feel good, dancing and singing. That's good. And that's from MMXW. She said, I have zero interest. I'm meeting new people because I just don't have the energy. It's just like my social battery has been depleted. Wow. That's why you have to break the frequency, because it's a life interrupter. It interrupts your life from the necessities you need in order to go on. And you have to go on in spite of everything. You have to go on. You have to live. You have to live in peace. You have to live without guilt. You have to live without shame. You have to live and understand I don't went through a tumultuous thing. And it's okay that I went through it, but my life doesn't end. It doesn't stop for me. Our relationship stopped, but it doesn't stop for me. She said, I'm meeting new people. Absolutely. Y'all, we have 10 minutes. I know where the time goes. You have to make up in your mind. I will not allow you to kill me, unalive me. I won't do it. I won't do it. I will live in spite of. I'm not going to feel guilty for the decisions that I have to make to live. I'm not going to feel shame. There's nothing wrong. It's what I have to do. She said, we deserve to live in peace. Absolutely. Absolutely. And without harassment, without embarrassment, without shame. You're gorging yourself emotionally on emotional guilt, trying to find a way to please these people, trying to find a way to satisfy them. There is no way. There's no way to satisfy them. There's no way to please them. There is no way. No matter how hard you work. They're done emotionally. You are done emotionally. And what you have to do is to make sure you keep telling your story and you keep living. You keep telling your story, you keep living. Don't let anybody shut your mouth, because you are causing other people to live. You're causing other people to see there's nothing wrong with me. Because one while I thought I was crazy, I thought I was the only one, but now you see, you got a whole host of people going through what you're going through. And it's hard for people to believe that people are like that. It doesn't matter your belief system. That does not stop or promote me. What I have to do is take responsibility for my own life. I have to be responsible for me. When nobody else does, when nobody else wants to, that's okay. I will do that. I will make the hard choice to make sure I live, to make sure I come alive, to make sure that I exist. I have to make the hard choices, because a lot of people will not make them for me or for themselves. They know they're hurting. I know that I'm hurting, but I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to disengage things that's killing me because I decide to live. Crystal says that's exactly where I am. I'm on an emotional healing journey after my life has been disrupted with that narcissist devil. Igniter said, prayer line ministry. Yes, ma'am. I made it. I'm healed and delivered. Amen. Naomi said, yes. Um, then, yes, I was afraid to speak about all of this because I felt like it dishonored my mother. But the truth is the truth, period. And that's the truth. A whole truth with nothing but the truth. The Bible says the truth shall make you free. Once you do that, then you be free. In these 5 minutes, I would like to say, you are not alone. There's more than just you to do it. God is with you, even on your job. He's with you. Never give first rights to anybody. Never. You have first right to it. Danielle says, thank you, Helen Sadler, your destiny helper, for creating a safe space to share. You are so welcome. You are so welcome. I want you to join me Tuesday on Clubhouse at 7:45 Pacific Standard Time, 9:45 Central Time, and 10:45 Eastern every Tuesday. And we're back here on Mondays and Wednesday with Bible study, and Wednesday after Bible study with YouTube. Make sure you join us. Tell somebody. Look in the mirror and talk to yourself and let yourself know it is well. I'm Helen Sadler, your destiny helper, and I will see you on next week. God bless you. Thanks, everybody.